Hello students. Today's first question is, if A is the area of a triangle with sides of length x, y and z as shown above, what is the value of A? So this is a right triangle which has been given to us with sides x, y and z, and this is a right triangle. So let us suppose this triangle is ABC with sides x, y and z. So we have been given that A is the area of this right triangle. So A will be equal to 1 by 2 base into height, so that will be 1 by 2 base is y and this is x, so that will be yx, right? So we need to find this. Now another thing we can get from this is z square is equal to x square plus y square, since this is a right triangle, right? Now moving to statement 1. Statement 1 gives us the value of z. So z is given to be 13. Now we can't find both the values unknowns y and x and y with the help of z. So this statement is not sufficient. We would say not sufficient to answer this question. So statement 1 alone is not sufficient. Now moving to statement 2. Statement 2 says that area, because question is referring A with the area of the triangle, is equal to 5y by 2. Now we have calculated area from base into height is 1 by 2 yx. So I can equate 1 by 2 y into x is equal to 5y by 2. So 2 and 2 gets cancelled, y and y gets cancelled, so I am getting x equal to 5. Now merely by getting x, the value of x, I can't find the area because I need the value of y also or z also. With this I can find with the help of this Pythagoras theorem. So statement 2 is also not sufficient. This means statement D is also not sufficient, which says that both the statements alone are sufficient. Now we'll check for statement C, or if it is not sufficient then we'll go to option E. So that means first and 2. Now first says z is equal to 30, and from second we have calculated x equal to 5. Now from this I can get the value of y by applying Pythagoras theorem. So 169 minus 25 should be equal to y square. So y square is equal to 144. This implies y is equal to 12. So I can find the area 1 by 2 y into x. So this is 630. So statement C is sufficient, that both statements together are sufficient to answer the question. The figure above shows a piece of cheese with a corner cut off to expose plane surface ABC. What is the area of surface ABC? So we have been given a surface which has been exposed. So now moving to statement 1. Statement 1 says that AD is equal to 10 centimeters. So what is AD? From the figure come to AD is this side. So merely by getting this side we can't get the area of this triangle. So statement 1 is not sufficient. So A option is not the second. Moving to second statement. Second statement says that the shape of the cheese was a cube before the corner was cut off. So it says that originally this was a cube, right? So cube means it would be having all sides equal. So from this we can't get the area of that exposed surface. So statement 2 is also not sufficient to answer this question. Now that means that statement D will also be not sufficient. So we can mark D is also not sufficient. Now we'll check for statement C, which means combining first and 2. Now statement first says that AD is 10 centimeters, right? Now the area which has been exposed, the statement 2 tells us that this is a cube. So this is basically the sides of this A, B and C are basically what? AC is the face diagonal of ACDE, right? BC is the face diagonal of ECGB, and AB is the face diagonal of AEBH. Right? So basically the sides of the triangle, we can write that triangle BABC, sides of triangle ABC are face diagonals of cube, right? And since it is cube, DC will also be equal to 10, and this AB will be equal to BC will be equal to AC. So if we find AC, so AC in triangle ADC, so now from here we have calculated that option C, combining both statements we can get the area of the surface, right? So C, combining both the statements. Now for the sake of the question we'll solve it. So AC becomes AC square is equal to 10 square plus 10 square, so that will be 200. So this implies AC will be equal to under root of 200, which is equal to 10 root 2, right? 10 root 2 centimeter. So AC, AB and BC are 10 root 2 centimeter. Now, and this is an equilateral triangle, so it has been established that triangle ABC is an equilateral triangle, right? So we know that the area of equilateral triangle is root 3 by 4 side square, and side we have calculated to be 10 root 2, so that will be root 3 by 4 multiplied by side square, which is 10 into 2, 200. Okay? So this will be 550. 50 root 3 will be the centimeter square, will be the area. So statement C is sufficient to answer this question. That combined statement 1 and 2 are sufficient. It costs $2,250 to fill a right circular cylinder tank R with a certain industrial chemical. Right? So tank R costs $2,250 to fill it up. If the cost to fill any tank with this chemical is directly proportional to the volume of the chemical needed to fill the tank, how much does it cost to fill right circular cylindrical tank S? So we need to find how much it costs to fill this tank S, right? Which is also right cylindrical tank. Right? So I will draw the figure of right cylindrical tank is somewhat like this. So the term right means basically is that from this center, let us suppose this is the center of the upper circle and this is the center. So these both are perpendicular to each other. That is a right cylindrical tank. Right? Now, one more thing has been given that the cost to fill any tank with this chemical is directly proportional to the volume of chemical needed to fill the tank. Right? Now, the cost is directly proportional to volume of chemical needed to fill the tank. So this has been already given to us. Now moving to statement 1. Statement 1 says the diameter of the interior of tank R is twice the diameter of the interior of tank S. So that means that the diameter of interior of tank R, so let us suppose that is dr, is twice the diameter of interior of tank S, which we need to find. So this is tank S, so that will be, this is twice, so this will be 2ds, right? Or I can say, if I try to take it in terms of radius, so this will be rr divided by 2 equal to twice of rs divided by 2. So this will be cancelled. So radius of r is twice times the radius of s, right? So, but we must know that the volume of a cylinder is given by pi r square h, right? But simply by having the ratios of radius, we can't find the volume of the cost. So we need to find the cost to fill tank S. So statement 1 is not sufficient. Now moving to statement 2. Statement 2 says the interior of tanks R and S have the same height. So that means height of tank R is equal to height of tank S. So this also doesn't help us in solving the cost of the volume of chemical required to fill tank S. Right? Now moving to, now this says option A, option B and option D are now out of the question. Now we have to check for option C, which says combine statements 1 and 2. Right? Now if I combine statements, so I get first the radius of, this is, so radius for tank R. Tank R volume will be equal to pi rr square into hr, right? And that for tank S it will be pi rs whole square into hs, right? Now rs is given to be 1 by 2 of rr. So this volume cost downwards, it is directly proportional to 2250. So this equals to 2250. Now here it is equal to pi. So rs square, rs is, from this I can calculate rs is equal to rr divided by 2. So I can put rr by 2 over here. So this will be rr divided by 2 whole square, and hs is equal to hr. So I can write hr over here. So this means pi rr square divided by 4 into hr. So this is basically equal to 1 by 4 pi rr square hr. But this refers to 2250. So 1 by 4 of 2250 will be the amount required to fill the tank S. So because we have been specifically given that if the cost to fill any tank with this chemical directly proportional to the volume of the chemical needed to fill the tank. So this is the volume and it is directly proportional, so I substituted the value. So from this we can calculate this, the cost. So this comes out to be $562.50. So that means statement C is sufficient to answer that. Combined statements 1 and 2, we are able to answer the question. So right option for this will be option C. In the figure shown, lines K and M are parallel to each other. Is x equal to z? So this is the question asked to us, that is x equal to z. So lines K and M are parallel to each other. So first of all we will draw the figure that, let us suppose these are two lines K and M. Now here it is z degree, this is w degree, and this is y degree, and this is x degree. We'll name this as A, B, C, D, and these lines are parallel, right? So we have been asked that is x equal to z. So whichever statement gives us a sure answer that it is not equal or yes it is equal, that statement is valid. So now here, before going to statement 1, we can do some calculations. Now since these are parallel lines and we know that this angle, this forms a inverted Z. So this will also be x degree because angle BAD equal to angle, let's suppose here a point EDA. Why? Because these are alternate angle, right? So since this is EDA is x, so angle BAD will be x degree, right? Now furthermore, y degree is equal to 180 degree minus x degree. How? Because x plus y is equal to 180 degree, and because these form linear pair of angles, right? Linear pairs are when in a straight line and at a certain point two angles they form and their sum is always 180 degree. So y becomes, from here y becomes 180 degree minus x degree. Now here this angle BCD must be equal to 180 degree minus z degree. So this angle becomes 180 degree minus z degree. Now you see that ABCD is a quadrilateral. So quadrilateral ABCD must have all the angles sum equal to, sum of all angles must be equal to 360 degree. Right? So the angles of the quadrilateral are x degree, w degree, 180 degree minus x degree, and 180 degree minus z degree. Right? Now with this we will move to statement 1. I think we have calculated and written all the information. Now statement 1. Statement 1 says that x is equal to w. So x is equal to w. So this means that I can write x over here. So x plus 180 degree minus x plus 180 degree minus z should be equal to 360 degree. So from here x and x gets cancelled, 180 plus 180 degree is 360 degree, so 360 degree gets cancelled. So I would be left with x minus z equal to 0. This implies x is equal to z. So that means this is what we have been asked, whether x is equal to z degree. So I can say that statement 1 is sufficient. So option A is correct. Now we have to check whether statement B is also sufficient or not. If statement B is not sufficient, then we'll mark option A, and if statement B is sufficient also, then we'll say statement D. Now moving to statement 2. Statement 2 says that y is equal to 180 degree minus w. Right? So 180 degree minus w is y. Now y is basically 180 degree minus x. So I can write 180 degree minus x equal to 180 degree minus w. So from this I can find that 180 gets cancelled. So x is equal to w. So this is the deduction from the statement 2, because y is also equal to 180 degree minus x. Now so this is parallel to what statement 1 has said, and we have calculated also. Again we will add all the angles of the quadrilateral and prove it to be 360, and from that we can calculate that x is equal to z, right? Because statement 2 is an extension of what statement 1 has said. So we have deduced that x is equal to w. So we can deduce from here, as we have deduced in statement 1. So we can say that statement B is also sufficient to answer this question. So we will say both the statements, not C, not together, but independently. So statement D, that is both the statements individually are sufficient. So for right option for this will be statement D. Right? Is n less than 1? So we have been just given in the main statement that n is less than 1. This is the question for us. Now moving to statement 1. Statement 1 says that n is less than 0.01% of 10,000. So we have been given that n is less than 0.01% of 10,000. So first of all we will try to solve this. So this is 0.01 divided by 100 into 10,000. Right? Now shifting this, I will get 2 more zeros in the denominator. So if I cancel this, so I get 1. So basically this says that n is less than 1, and this is what we need to find. So we can say that statement A is sufficient to answer this question alone, that n is less than 1. Yes, n is less than 1 because n is less than 0.01% of 10,000, and we have calculated this comes out to be 1. So n is basically less than 1. Now moving to statement 2. Statement 2 says n is less than 0.1% of 1200. Right? So first we will solve this. So this is 0.1 divided by 100 into 1200. Shifting this into denominator, I'll get 110. So this cancels this. So this comes out to be 12 by 10, 1.2. So this says that n is less than 1.2. Now you tell me, is this able to, n is less than 1 by 2, able to solve this question? Now for this we will move to the number line. So it is 0, 1, and n lies over here 1.2. Now if n is less than 1 by 2, n can have value 1.1. So in that case it says n is less than 1. No, but if n is less than 1 and its value is 0.5, then it says yes. So this is a may or may not be situation. So we can say that statement 2 is not sufficient. So for this, the right option will be statement A is statement 1 is alone sufficient to answer the question. When the wind speed is 9 miles per hour, the wind chill factor W, wind chill factor, so this is basically a factor called wind chill factor. So this is equal to minus 17.366 plus 1.19 T, right? Where T is the temperature, so T is the variable which is representing temperature in degrees Fahrenheit, right? If at noon yesterday the wind speed was 9 miles per hour, was the wind chill factor greater than 0? So we need to find that whether the wind chill factor was greater than 0 when wind speed is 9 miles per hour at noon, so 12 o'clock, right? Now moving to statement 1. Statement 1 says the temperature at noon yesterday was greater than 10 degrees Fahrenheit. So that means basically that T was greater than 10 degrees Fahrenheit, right? Now we need to find whether wind chill factor was greater than 0 or not. So first we will put the value of T equal to 10 and find out what is the limiting value. So 17.366 plus 1.19 into 10 gives us minus 17.366 plus 11.9. So this value will be basically negative. So it is minus 5.466, right? So this is the value of W, and W is less than 0. Right? So we can say that this value is less than 0. No, because it has been given T is greater than 10 degree Fahrenheit and we calculated at 10. If I suppose that for T equal to 20 degree Fahrenheit, so for this it will be minus 17.366 plus 1.19 multiplied by 20, right? So this will be equal to minus 17.366 plus 23.8, right? Now this has become greater and it is positive. So when I subtract 17.366 from this, I get 6.434 positive. So in this case, W is coming out to be greater than 0. So this is yes as well as no. So I can say that statement 1 is not sufficient to answer this question. Now moving to statement 2. Statement 2 says the temperature at noon yesterday was less than 20 degrees Fahrenheit. So it says temperature was less than 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Right. So for 20 degree we have already calculated. So let us suppose now we calculated for T equal to 19 degree Fahrenheit. So that will be W will be equal to minus 17.366 plus 1.19 into 90. So this is minus 17.366 plus 1.19 into 90. So this comes out to be 22.61. And when I subtract it from 17.366 from it, I'm having value 5.244, which is greater than 0. So I can say W is greater than 0. Right? Now I will calculate it for 11 degree Fahrenheit. So this is W minus 17.366 plus 1.19 multiplied by 11. Right? So 1.19 multiplied by 11. So this is minus 17.366 plus 13.09. So you see the value will come out to be negative value, right? Subtracting 17.366, so it comes out to minus 4.276. So W is less than 0. So again, we can't surely say that W is, because here it comes out to greater than 0, here it comes out to be less than 0. Now, combining these statements will also give me these values, and we are not certain because 10 is greater than, combining I get that 10 variates between 10 T is greater than 10 degree and less than 20 degree. And in between we have calculated for two values 19 and 11. So it gives value both positive as well as negative. So we can say that none of the statements are able to give us a concrete answer that whether W is greater than 0 or less than. So right option for this will be statement E. Both statements are not sufficient. What is the volume of the cube above? So we have been simply asked that this is a cube and we need to find the volume of this cube. Right? This is a cube, this has A, this is B. So we need to find the volume of this cube. Now statement 1 tells us that the surface area of the cube is 600 square inches. So if I suppose the length of this cube be L, so every side will be L. We know that surface area of a cube is equal to 6L square, right? So this is equal to 600 square inches, and the volume of the cube is given by L cube. So from here I can find the value of L and I can get the volume. So I will say that statement A is sufficient to answer this question, right? Now statement 2. Statement 2 says the length of the diagonal AB is 10 root 3. So we have been given this. So now here we will go into some detailed discussion. In a cube, we have two types of diagonals. One is face diagonal, which is this, right? And one is body diagonal, which is AB, right? Now, if I suppose this to be C, AC can be find out by, since this is a 90-degree triangle and this is L and L. So body diagonal, which is AB, is always equal to root 3 of A or root 3 of L, where L is length of one side of Q, right? And phase diagonal is always equal to, and this information is not required in this question, so I will give this root 2 into L. If you want, I have calculated this in previous video also, in my cubes video. So if you want, we can solve this. AC is the phase diagonal, so AC square is equal to L square plus L square. So this is basically 2L square. So from here, AC comes out to be root 2 into L, right? Now, this is AC and this is B, which is also equal to L. So for finding AB square will be equal to root 2L square, which is equal to 2L square plus this L square. So this is basically 3L square. So body diagonal AB is equal to root 3 multiplied by L, right? So this has been given to be 10 root 3. So I can equate 10 root 3 equal to root 3 into L. So root 3 gets cancelled, giving me L equal to 10. From here I can just find the value of L cube, which will be further equal to 1000 inch cube, right? Here also I can find this, that L square is equal to 100 and L comes out to be 10. So both the I will say both the statements are sufficient. So I will go with the option D. That statements A and B both are sufficient to 1 and 2 are sufficient to answer the question. So the right option for this will be option D. For future references, you must know that the body diagonal of a cube is equal to root 3L and phase diagonal is root 2L, surface area is 6L square and volume is L cube. In the figure shown, quadrilateral ABCD is inscribed in a circle of radius 5. What is the perimeter of quadrilateral ABCD? So we need to draw a circle first, and here A, B, C and D. Right, so one more. They have drawn the diagonals also, AC and BD. So quadrilateral ABCD is inscribed in a circle of radius 5. So this circle is having radius R 5 and 5. What is the perimeter of quadrilateral ABCD? So basically we need to find AB plus BC plus CD plus DA. Right? Now moving to statement 1. Statement 1 says that the length of AB is 6 and length of CD is 8. So from statement 1 we have been given AB equal to 6 and CD equal to 8. But we are not aware of the length of AD and BC. So statement 1 is not sufficient to answer this question. Now moving to statement 2. Statement 2 says that AC is the diameter of the circle. So that means AC will be equal to, since radius is equal to 5, so AC is 10. Fine. Now since AC is the diameter, we know there is a theorem that if AC is the diameter, so we have a theorem that angle in a semicircle is a right angle. So since it has been given to us that AC is the diameter, so this means that angle ABC equal to angle ADC will be equal to 90 degree, right? So still we are not able to find the lengths of AB, BC, CD and DA. So statement 2 is also not sufficient. So this means that option A, option B and option D are not right. Now we will move to statement C, which says that combining statement 1 and 2. Now statement C says AB is equal to 6. So this is 6. This is, now I can write, when I am combining the statement, this is 10, AC is 10 and CD is 8. One more thing, that this is 90 degree and this is also 90 degree, right? Because this is the diameter, so angle in a semicircle will be a 90 degree, right angle. Now, if we closely look at the triangle ABC, here this is hypotenuse, so AC square will be equal to AB square plus BC square. So this is 100. AB is given to be 6 square. So this is 36 plus BC square. So from this I can calculate BC equal to under root of 64, which is 8. So BC comes out to be 8. Now in triangle ADC, same applying Pythagoras theorem, AC square will be equal to AD square plus DC square. So AC square is 100 and this is 64 DC, so AD square plus 64. So from here AD can be calculated, which is equal to under root of 36. So this is 6. So AD is 6. So now we have got the lengths of AB, BC, CD as well as DA. So we can say that both the statements, so right option for this will be C, that's combinedly statements first and 2, we can get the perimeter of quadrilateral ABC. For the question purpose we can calculate this. This is 14 plus 14. So perimeter will be equal to 28 units, right? So for this the right option is option number C. If y is not equal to 0, is mod, so we have been given, if y is not equal to 0, is mod of x is equal to 1, right? We need to answer this question, that whether it is a sure yes or sure no, right? Now moving to statement 1. Statement 1 says that x is equal to y upon y mod, right? Now two cases arise here. One case will be y is greater than 0 and next other case will be y is less than 0. Now first we will go with option this. Now if y is greater than 0, then mod of y is equal to y. So on in numerator also it will be y. So y by y will be equal to 1 and this is equal to x. So mod of x will be definitely equal to 1. Now if y is less than 1, so in the numerator it will become minus y and in denominator it will become y. So this will be equal to minus 1. So x is equal to minus 1. So mod of x will be equal to 1. So both the situations, the only two cases arise and in both the cases the value of x is equal to 1. So it gives us a sure yes. So we can say that statement A is sufficient to answer our question. Now moving to statement 2. Statement 2 tells us that mod of x is equal to minus of x, right? So from this we can know that all we can know from here is x is not positive, right? Because mod of x is equal to minus of x. Now we can solve this with getting two conditions. For example, if x is equal to minus 5, so in this case this will be mod of x will be equal to mod of minus 5 equal to 5, and here it will be minus of minus 5, so it will be equal to 5, right? Or if we take the value of x to be minus 4, so mod of x will be mod of minus 4 will be equal to 4, and on the right hand side minus of minus 4 will be equal to 4. So statement 2 is not able to answer our question that mod of x is equal to 1 or not, right? So this statement is not sufficient to answer the question, so we'll go with option A, but statement A is sufficient to answer the question. If x is a positive integer, what is the value of x? So we have been given that x is a positive integer. We need to find the value of x. Now statement 1. Statement 1 tells us that x square is equal to under root of x. Now if I squaring both sides, I will get, this implies x raised to power 4 is equal to x, right? Or I can say that x raised to power 4 minus x is equal to 0. Now taking x common, I will get x cube minus 1 equal to 0. If I write cube over here, so this becomes a cube minus b cube, which is basically equal to a minus b into a square plus ab plus b square. So I can write x into x minus 1, a minus b into x square plus ab is x plus 1 equal to 0. Now there are three expressions on the left hand side equal to 0. So first we'll give x equal to 0. But since x is a positive integer and 0 is not a positive integer, so we will discard this value. Now second is x minus 1 equal to 0, which gives us the value of x equal to 1, right? Now third is x square plus x plus 1 equal to 0. Now if x square plus x plus 1 is equal to 0 and x is a positive integer, so what you can deduce from here is that x is a positive integer. So there will be no positive solutions for this, right? As this sum has to be 0, but x is a positive integer, so no positive solution can come from this, right? So overall we can say that the value of x is equal to 1. So there is a single value coming out which is 1. So we can say that the statement 1a is sufficient to answer this question, right? If you want, I can solve this for you also. So here a is equal to 1, b is equal to 1 and c is equal to 1. So finding the discriminant is equal to b square 1 minus 4 dot 1 dot 1. So this comes out to be 1 minus 4, which is 3. So we know for finding the value of x, we know minus b plus minus under root of d upon 2a. So this will be minus b plus minus under root of minus 3 upon 2, or minus 1 plus minus under root of minus 3 by 2. So this portion will give us imaginary solution, right? So that's why this will also not give us any value. So one value which is positive integer is a single possible value, that is x equal to 1. So statement A is sufficient to answer the question. Now moving to statement 2. Statement 2 says that n upon x is equal to n and n is not equal to 0, right? So I can write n equal to x multiplied by n, right? Or I can write cancelling n and n, I get x, the value of x equal to 1. So again, this is a positive integer and it is the single value which is coming out of the given equation. So I can say that statement 2 is also sufficient. So I can say statement D, that both statements are individually sufficient to answer this question. So statement D is this is the right answer. Is the median of the 5 numbers a, b, c, d, e equal to d? So there are 5 numbers a, b, c, d, e. We need to find that is the median equal to d, right? So for this, if they are arranged in an ascending order, we need to find that whether D comes at the third spot or not. Right? Now, moving to statement 1. Statement 1 says that A is less than C is less than E. So we'll assign some values to this. So let us suppose A is 2, right? C is 8 and E is 12, right? So we can arrange this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So A is 2, C is 8 and E is 12. Now we can give the value for B and E. Let us suppose B is 4 and E is 10. So we can arrange it like this. So this is A, C, E. B we have supposed to be 4. So it will lie over here. And E, sorry, not E, D. D to be 10. So here 10. So in this case, the median becomes C. Now changing the values, keeping these values same. If I suppose that B to be 1 and D to be 4, right? Now it can be arranged 1, 2, 4 and then 8 and 12. So 1 is the value of B, 2 is the value of A, 4 is the value of D and 8 is C and E. In this case, the median is D. So this says no and this says yes. So statement A is not sufficient. Now moving to statement 2. Statement 2 says that B is less than D is less than C. Again, the same condition will arise. You can check it also. So this will also give us a condition where D can be the median or D cannot be. So statement 2 is also not sufficient. Right? Now with this, option A, option B and option D I will cancel. Now we will look for statement C. Statement C says combining 1 and 2. Right? Now A is less than C is less than E and C is greater than D and greater than B. Right? So this means that with reference to C, A has to be less than this, right? And B as well, sorry, D has to be less than and B has to be less than, only E has to be greater than this, right? But still we are not in a condition to compare between A, B and D, which will be sitting at the position, right? So if we take a case that A is equal to 2, let us suppose C is equal to 7 and E is equal to 9. So A can take the value 2, D can take the value 3 and B can take the value 1. So in this case, if I arrange this will be 1, 2, 3, 7, 9. So having D equal to 3, so D can be here. But if I change the values, we need to have B less than D. So if I take C7, A equal to 4, then D will be, let us suppose 3 and B equal to 2. So that will be 2, 3, then 4, 7 and 9. So again, we are not sure whether D will be the median or not. So statement E is the right option for this. That none of the statements are able to give us the right answer. So thank you for today's lecture. Bye bye. Take care. You can take some other examples also where you can rise to this condition where D is the median or not the median. So you can take some other examples also. Bye bye. Take care.